Hey there, everybody. It is the end of week 12. I didn't get as much footage this week as I would have wanted, but I did go to a cafe for a little bit, and I did pull the two cards for the oracle reading, and we got a bunch of snow, and the oracle reading. I just realized I said oracle reading. The oracle writing prompt. I don't know what I'm talking about. We got a bunch of snow, and we put up some lights on the house, and it's just been so nice. And the tree's gonna go up, I think, today in my space, and it's just been really nice end to the challenge. And I definitely challenged myself more than I thought I was going to getting into this. But that's always a good thing sometimes, to challenge yourself. And I learned a lot from what I have done, and I know what I would and wouldn't do again. And I think that's wonderful because I learned from everything I have done, everything I didn't do, everything that I couldn't do, and it was just a great journey all around. I definitely would do something like this again, but I think I would structure it a little differently. I would do less classes because I felt very stressed out trying to do work and things in between. I wouldn't have done so many classes, I think. I think I was stuck to like 2 and gone from there because I felt definitely overburdened. I did too much on myself, and I regret that a lot. Because I do feel a little bit of shame in not being able to finish everything that I said I was going to do in the time frame. But there was a lot of other things going on between work and life, and I feel like I really needed to give myself that break. I think I would do something like learning a book, like the spiritual one, going through reading that, doing everything in that, and maybe doing writing prompts from it, kind of how I was doing with like the oracle polls. And then on top of a class like that that's a little more simple but still includes writing, have something that is much more craft based, maybe like the 90 days to your novel, but not so much focusing on doing a whole novel in this. Or maybe I would. Depends on, I guess, like how much I would be doing with the other one. I think that's kind of where the problem arose, was that I was trying to write a novel, edit 2 novels, rewrite and potentially edit those novels, and do the reading and the challenges and the writing challenges. And it was just too much at once. And I think I need to have just like one writing challenge and maybe a reading challenge going forward if I'm going to do this like school thing again. Kind of cut back the classes, and I could still do them like a class, like, have the deadlines and do specific things, because I think that really helped. And like it made me want to go back to school and take a couple classes and actually like do classes, because I really love learning, and I love being in an environment like that where you can learn off of other people as well. Like you kind of can communicate and learn and whatnot. So I think I would definitely do something like that in the future, of one focus more so on writing and one maybe like learning, such as the spirituality and maybe like a craft book or something, or whatever it is I want to learn about at the time. I think that would do me a lot of good to be able to do that. And so to learn that I overdid it definitely sucked, because I didn't want to overdo it and I wanted to accomplish all of it. But knowing your limits is really good, and knowing partway through, like, hey, I can't do this novel on top of everything else and whatnot. Like, it's good to know your limits, and I'm really glad that I was able to advocate for myself in that time frame of, I can't do this on everything else. Granted, real school, you wouldn't be able to do that. You kind of just have to suck it up and deal with it, which is why college is a full-time job. I tell people that sometimes, and they're like, that's not how it works. And I'm like, yes, you were putting in the classes and you're putting in all the work, extra work. It's a full-time job. That's why they literally tell you it is a full-time job. And me working multiple jobs and doing life things, like losing 4 days to clean for a skunk, it really kind of throws things off. It really does. And I'm really glad that I am in a place in my life right now that I can take that time if I need to. I am so grateful for that. Like, I know I talk a lot of shit about things, but I am grateful I have that chance right now that I can just sit and be like, oh, okay, I can take a moment and think of things and process things and whatnot. And so to me, that's just really great. And I'm happy that I can do that. And I'm learning to like love my situation I'm in. Not love, I guess, but find the good in the situations I'm in. I definitely learned a lot. I'm going to kind of try and break it down now into each one. The spirituality one, I think I learned a lot of good information and opening my eyes to more spiritual things, I guess. I had been on my own kind of journey beforehand, and I feel like this is a book that is very good for you're just starting it, which is excellent. Oh, I'll show the book. So this is it, Awaken Your Psychic Ability. This is the one I had been reading through the whole time. And this one, it had a lot of the information I kind of already had been learning myself, which is totally fine. So I felt like I was kind of just adding to that a little bit, which was nice. This is one I'd recommend if you are like interested in spirituality and like psychic mediumship and stuff, to like dive into this one, because it does really introduce things from the beginning. It talks about a lot of beginning things. And so this is very helpful for like someone who is just getting into it. And so I'd definitely recommend this of figure out if you are into this stuff and read through it and really like look into it, because there is a lot in here. I got into numerology a little bit from this. There's so many different topics. So absolutely, like, this was a really good one for me. And playing with the cards, I kind of wish I had done something different, I think, with them. I really like those tea ones, and I love pulling them, and I think I might include them for, like, stream as, like, a fun reward of, like, a what's the tea reward or something. Get a writing prompt from what's the tea. I'll figure out how to add that to my stream, I guess, and whatnot. But I think I would have liked to maybe, if I had thought about it more, pull the tarot cards and maybe do 2 tarot cards to help me kind of expand my knowledge with tarot as well, because I still feel like I struggle in that aspect a lot. So that was a big one for me of I should have been maybe more focused on the spiritual aspect of this class versus the writing part, which was just making prompts and whatnot. So the 90 Days to Your Novel one, if you have followed throughout this entire thing, I will be doing a whole review video. Not something I would recommend. It's something. I think the concept was great. Execution was not. I'm not going to go further into it because I'll just start rambling, and that's for the review video. But I definitely did try all of the prompts in the beginning of the exercises to get you into writing, and I think those exercises were really good for especially people struggling to write or not sure how to get into writing. It kind of gave you little things to do. So in those aspects, some of those were good, but if you've been writing and you're really just trying to settle down and write a novel, it was not very helpful. And some of the things I'll be talking about is how it jumps around so much. So I did do some of those, and I liked the ideas that kind of surrounded this book, but not executed well, and I lost all interest partway through, and I was like, this is just ridiculous. So that, I think, I also didn't write the novel because I was busy with everything else, and also the novel that I had picked out, I wanted to re-outline and whatnot, but I found some major plot problems that I think I need to go back to the drawing board and, like, square one. What is this story? Yes, it is someone telling a colorblind guy about color, but what's their stories in it? Like, they need more than just that. It worked for a little short story, but to become a novel, I need to really figure out the goals for each of them and go from there, which I guess in a way this book helped because it did help me identify those, but I need to now figure out, without the help of that book, because that book was chaos, what to go from there. And then the editing, I got Shadow Warrior edited and kind of got a little bit more enthusiastic about working on that project. But at the same time, the romance one, I got more interested in working in the other books in the romance pen name than the one I was working on. So the one I was working on is a dark mafia romance. But for me, I'm not a fan of the dark romances where the male main character is extensively abusive, assaults the female main character, so I didn't want to include that. I know some people are cool with that, and, like, you know, to each your own, but I feel like that's become more of the dark romance pipeline, is just, let's absolutely abuse the shit out of the female and Stockholm Syndrome her, and I'm like, I want a good dark romance, like the Mindfuck series, where their romance is excellent, they're not bad to each other, but everything else around them is terrible. You know, she's a serial killer in that book. So that's the kind of pipeline I wanted to go down. And it is mafia. So it's kind of like a little discouraging in the fact that I know that most other of the mafia ones out there, there's a few that I know of that aren't, but a lot of them are very abusive and assault and stuff, and it's like, is mine even going to be able to have legs to stand on, or is it just going to get ripped apart because it's not dark? Because even though, like, there's scenes in there that are, like, full gore, is it going to be pushed away because, you know, he's not abusing her? So that's, like, a fear that had come to mind during this editing process, and it has kind of made me wary about it, but I need to just stop being wary because, like, these characters, I love them so much. I need to learn that, and I think the editing, I wish I could have learned that a little more during this editing process, because I dragged it out, because I was like, but if I finish, then I have to put it out, and people aren't gonna like it, because it's not the darkness that people want, or that is the normal right now. So that's a little bit of a fear there. But I also got, under that pen name, some ideas for other little romances, so it's kind of that, like, catch-22 of, like, oh, I want to do this, and, like, the fear is there, but I really love the story, but also, look at all these other ideas that I could do, and I want to do all of these things. So at least it sparked some ideas, I guess. I added, I think, like 4 or 5 ideas to the book sheet, so I need to just get on those, I guess. We'll see. Anyway, I really liked doing this challenge. I had a lot of fun. I really liked the learning aspect, and I might just start implementing this in some of my reading stuff, like books like this that I want to read to just be able to learn things. I might start putting, like, a weekly chart on myself or something to get myself to read more of them, because I had so much fun doing this. This one, I was so excited. I read ahead a couple times. I was so excited to get into it. So I think the school timeline does help me on some things to set deadlines, and so I will probably be implementing some of the timelines a little bit into just daily life to try and get myself back on track with writing and such things. But yeah, that's where we're going to wrap this up. I have more videos coming out real soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Much love to all of you. Let me know if you did something similar. Let me know in the comments below how you did if you did it. Just let me know about your writing projects. I want to hear about other people's writing. So please, please, please comment down below about whatever you're working on. And I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!